And now to the biggest and the most happening story from the United States of America, the Republican National Convention. As I speak, the second night of this event is underway in full swing. I'm here to talk to you about the first one. And I can only think of one word to describe it: spectacular. The festival of optimism that we saw on the first night was astounding. The grand old party clearly took some notes from the drawbacks of the Democratic convention. They did not start their event on a dull note. They were in attack mode on the very first night, from racism to economy to the American dream and, of course, China. The Republicans came prepared and countered the Democrats on every aspect. Let's bring you the highlights: the good, the bad, the hits and the misses. We're starting with the hits. Nikki Haley stands out. The showstopper of the night. She made a compelling political case for Donald Trump's re-election. A former ambassador to the United Nations, Haley made up for the political experience that many of the evening speakers lacked. From North Korea to the United Arab Emirates, she highlighted all the successes and the perceived successes of Trump's foreign policy.
It was an honor of a lifetime to serve as the United States ambassador to the United Nations. Now, the UN is not for the faint of heart. It's a place where dictators, murderers, and thieves denounce America and then put their hands out and demand that we pay their bills. Well, President Trump put an end to all of that.
Haley's speech also focused on the immigrants. That's a card that the Democrats have been playing through Kamala Harris, the vice presidential candidate. The daughter of an Indian immigrant herself, Nikki Haley, did not hesitate to invoke her Indian heritage. She argued about a constructive way of uniting America. She called herself a brown girl in a black and white world that was not racist at all. You have to watch this.
In much of the Democratic Party, it's now fashionable to say that America is racist. That is a lie. America is not a racist country. This is personal for me. I am the proud daughter of Indian immigrants. They came to America and settled in a small southern town. My father wore a turban. My mother wore a sari. I was a brown girl in a black and white world. We faced discrimination and hardship, but my parents never gave in to grievance and hate.
Now to the second star of the night, the U.S. President's Trump card to sway black voters. Senator Tim Scott from South Carolina, the only black Republican in the U.S. Senate, he presented a point-by-point rebuttal of the entire racism narrative the Democrats have been fueling for weeks. And just like Nikki Haley, Tim Scott, too, drew upon his own life story and criticized Joe Biden for painting a dark picture of America under Donald Trump.
I'm going to ask you, the American people, not to simply look at what the candidates say, but to look back at what they've done. This election is about your future, and it is critical to paint a full picture of the records of Donald Trump and Joe Biden. Joe Biden said if a black man didn't vote for him, he wasn't truly black. Joe Biden said black people are a monolithic community. It was Joe Biden who said poor kids can be just as smart as white kids.
Our biggest takeaway from the first night is this: the overt focus on Donald Trump and his family. This truly is the Trump convention. All four of Trump's grown-up children are scheduled to speak this week. The First Lady will be addressing the convention tonight. Ivanka Trump will be introducing her father ahead of his acceptance speech on Thursday. The reliance on Trump's family members to vouch for the president is quite interesting. It shows how the grand old party has consolidated its ideology around Trump. And if you need proof, listen to the speech by Donald Trump Jr., the heir apparent perhaps. He was as sassy and as unsparing as his father in attacking Joe Biden. He embodied his father's political persona while making his points, and for a moment it almost seemed as if it was the US president talking. Take a look.
Beijing Biden is so weak on China that the intelligence community recently assessed that the Chinese Communist Party favors Biden. They know he'll weaken us both economically and on a world stage. Joe Biden and the radical left are now coming for our freedom of speech. They want to bully us into submission. If they get their way, it will no longer be the silent majority. It will be the silenced majority.
And Donald Trump Jr. did not come alone. He brought his girlfriend along, Kimberly Guilfoyle, the national chair of the Trump Victory Finance Committee. She delivered a high-spirited and exuberant speech on the soul of America, but she probably forgot that she was speaking inside an empty auditorium. You have to watch this.
America, it's all on the line. President Trump believes in you. He emancipates and lifts you up to live your American dream. You are capable. You are qualified, you are powerful, and you have the ability to choose your life and determine your destiny. Don't let the Democrats take you for granted. Don't let them step on you. Don't let them destroy your families, your lives, and your future. Don't let them kill future generations because they told you and brainwashed you and fed you lies that you weren't good enough.
Don't you envy the energy? The first night of the Republican convention was, like I said, a festival of optimism, colorful in every sense of the word, high on nationalism and production value. The lineup ahead promises to make this an even bigger event.
Ladies and gentlemen, leaders and fighters for freedom